Welcome back, guys, to Time Out with T-Rex. We are now live on location, believe it or not. We normally don't do that too much, but we do occasionally. And we are here in the secret bunker, I guess you could say almost, of Richard Dean. And I have him right here. And then I have Brad Toth next to me over here. They are the Thrill of the Hunt boys. You guys see them on Facebook all the time. These are the guys who find the treasures that are right here in our region and even beyond a little bit. And tonight we're going to talk to them about how they got started, what are some of the cool things they've come across, and how maybe you might be able to get involved and find out more about them. So, boys, thanks for joining me tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Richard, we'll start off on this side with you.
Okay.
First of all, tell us a little bit about Thrill of the Hunt, how you guys got started.
It really started out in a strange way. We're actually out doing what we do, just going to antique malls, hunting for treasures, and it was on a football Sunday, and we have some mutual friends who kind of give us a hard time about what we do, and they were out, watching their football games and all, and we actually stumbled across a nice selection of records at one of these antique malls, and they're also big into record collecting, and we decided just to shoot a video there to rub it in their faces, what we found. And that video just ended up taking off in a major way, and it kind of planted the seed, hey, we can really make something out of this and take it further. So that's the core of how it all started.
Excellent, cool. Brad, let me turn to you for a second. So when did you jump on board and team up with Richard here and start the Thrill of the Hunt and get on the start?
We started it together. We were both out that same day. And we go out every now and then, just hunt for stuff. And that particular day, like you said, was kind of a fluke because we were getting guys laughing at us saying, oh, you're not going to find anything. You're wasting your time. And, we found a ton of cool stuff, and we videotaped it as a joke, rubbed it in their face, laughed, had a good laugh out of it. And like Richard said, it just took off. Richard basically came up with the full-blown idea of, hey, this might be something. What do you think of creating a group page and shooting videos when we go out? So that's kind of how it evolved, and we did a couple. People started joining the group. We started getting a lot of interest and a lot of support, and here we are almost a year later, and we're still doing it, and our page is growing, and we're having fun.
Absolutely. I tell you, you jump on their group page and their Facebook page, there's always guys posting stuff that they find out in the field, and some of it you blow your head and go, I ain't seen that in years. Right. They come across some really cool stuff. So speaking on that, Richard, what are some of the cool stuff that you've come across since being on Thrill of the Hunt?
Just being part of this group has really opened up a whole other world for me. I mean, and you touched on it, we have this network of almost 700 people right now in the group. And there are other collectors like us, they're shop owners, they're people who vend at different events. So we've got this major network going on where, if we're looking for something in particular, there's a really good chance that someone within our group can help find it. And to answer your question, even just last night, I found that Green Ghost game that you see in front of us there, and
I do.
yeah, that's a really cool collectible item, and they're a little bit hard to come by, but again, through our network of people, I was one of the last to actually come across one, but we've come up with different resources where we can find things like that. And it's just awesome, the spirit of cooperation in the group. So that's just, one example of something that I've found recently. I don't think your show is 10 hours long for me to go through everything.
Get the right money, we can make it go. But
exactly.
yes,
Yeah. We'll be your sponsors here for the show. Just one other item that I wanted to point out. Mark, who runs the Crown Antique Mall in Crown Point, Indiana. He just had his big grand opening for a second building, but Mark actually set me up with an item that was really cool. It's a casting of Adam West's head that they used to make the Batman cowl from the TV show. So I actually have that item and an actual resin casting of the piece. So those are a couple of my prized possessions that I've come through acquiring through the group.
Awesome. Yeah, man. I remember you putting the pictures up about that. That was an awesome find. I blew my mind when you came across that. Brad and I talked a little bit last week off and on through text and on the phone call, and found out through Brad he's a real horror fan. You know, he's big into horror. But we never did really go into much detail. What kind of horror are we talking about? Are we talking like the old school stuff?
Yeah.
Like Boris Karloff,
Yes.
and see that now we kindred spirits here a little bit because I can relate to that a lot. So tell us a little bit about what you're into, Brad.
Well, you know, I've always been a collector of the vintage horror and monster things. Been a collector for many, many years. Kind of got away from it for a little while. Kind of, you know, ran out of space and a little bit. You know, there's just so much; it's never ending. I'm a huge record collector, and I started focusing more on that over the last couple of years. Build my LP collection, which has gotten out of hand as well. But yeah, those are my two main things. Vintage horror, and I mean it could be new stuff. They come out with new stuff all the time for the vintage characters. I do collect some of the newer, you know, what I would call newer, like Freddy Krueger and stuff like that. But there's a lot newer than that. But I'm pretty much maybe Freddy Krueger on back. Huge collector of monster magazines, famous monsters, scary monsters, freaky monsters, stuff like that. Castle of Frankenstein. A huge toy collector as well, vintage toys, lunch boxes, just whatever. You know, I'm one of those guys that it's just the price is right, the time's right, or I just want it at that moment, right? So the other thing that's really, since we got involved with this and started pushing this, and we really don't, you know, we really don't push hard. We don't advertise this a lot. We kind of let it grow on its own, which I'm going to do a small advertising campaign when the weather gets colder and everybody's more online, just to kind of, you know, but the thing I like about the way it's growing now is the people that are joining are really collectors, really good people. They're there because they want to be there. They're not just joining because we don't really want that. We want true people. But, you know, we've been hitting a lot of auctions lately and picking up some good deals and some cool stuff, and definitely got me going on a couple different things, and things I've always wanted I was able to obtain at very reasonable prices. And so my collection grows every week one way or another, more probably so the LP collection grows more than the monster collection, because I literally just don't have the room. I'm doing a revamp of my toy room right now, and it's just a huge undertaking. I'm scratching my head going, why do I have all this stuff? But, you know, it's who I am. It's what I love. I still have some of the vintage stuff from when I was a kid that somehow survived, you know, maybe kept it new in the box or whatever. And you just, you know, there's so many companies exploding with all these new figures. And I'm a Planet of the Apes type of guy, too. So, you know, all that kind of stuff, a lot of sci-fi related from the 70s, and you know, I like model kits. I like all kinds of stuff. So I'm not just focused on one, you know, tunnel, if you want to say. I'm all over the place, and sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. Thank God I never really got the Star Wars bug. Because I got to tell you,
Star Trek
well, I do have a few Star Trek,
you do?
a few, not a lot.
See, I'm paddling right now.
But it's really hard because there's so much out there. So I try to stay more focused on what I like the best.
There you go. Absolutely. Let me tell you guys, and I told this to Brad when we were talking a few weeks ago. I started up this show because I feel like it was an area that was not really tapped into, which is entertainment. And when I entertainment, I mean anything and everything. Like talking with these fellows here, you don't see that a lot out there. You know, you got all this political stuff all over the place, and that's not what this show's about. It's about letting these guys kind of show off what they do, and you guys can get involved and follow with them, and they can help you build your collection and go from there. So that's why I love talking to these boys. I feel like I'm right at home. I'm staying the night, by the way. I'm letting you know that right now.
Yeah,
I'm not going home. So
that'll be
That's
fun.
the fun thing about being a collector, where your passion's at. It kind of removes you from all the garbage that's going on in the world. And there's plenty of it. There's too much of it. It's every day. I get so frustrated. I don't even like to watch the news anymore, other than to watch the weather for the most part. But it takes you to that place where, you know, none of that stuff is in your mind. You're happy. You're having fun, and thrill of the hunt. The whole idea of thrill of the hunt was, to network, get people involved, share our experiences, share places that people might not be aware of or never been to, and have fun. Forget all about that other stuff, because that's always going to be there, and it's very damaging to the human mind. Believe it or not, it's just this. On the other hand, of course, other people might have a different opinion. They might say you guys are nuts, you're hoarders, you're crazy, whatever. But you know what? So be it. It's a good, comfortable place, and it's a fun place.
there you go. Exactly. I couldn't have said it better. Richard, now I heard it through the grapevine from a certain cousin of mine that you're a bit of and aside from collecting, you got a bit of an artist bug in you. Now, tell us a little about that.
Yeah, I've always had the art bug ever since I was a tiny little guy. My dad was an artist, so I think a lot of it was heredity. I got it from him, and he encouraged me. My mom encouraged me, and I was always big into comic books. That's kind of like how I learned a lot of my drawing skills. Was never formally trained or anything. Just kind of picked up the style from comic books and all, and yeah, it stayed with me later into life. I never really had a desire to do it professionally, so to speak, but it's a side thing that I do. It's a little more than just a hobby. I do album covers, T-shirt designs, work with a lot of different bands. I've done some movie posters that you can see up there. Working with independent directors, filmmakers, and all. So, yeah, there's plenty of outlets out there for me to have some fun with it and be creative and have a good time.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, my cousin Eric, which is standing in the wings over there, he's going on a private tour of your bunker here. So, but I encouraged him. I said,
Yeah.
but if you break it, you buy it. So that's the only thing, because I'm not covered for. We don't have insurance for that. So,
I trust it.
so if he breaks it, he buys it. That's all it is to it. But anyway, he told me about several of the prints and stuff you've done for him. He owns a couple of them, and he's shown me quality stuff, man. Very impressive stuff. Very nice. Let me just say, this thrill of the hunt stuff is really cool. They've been going for a year strong, and as Brad mentioned, they're going to do more stuff coming in the next year. I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm glad that the three of us can kind of network together and basically scratch each other's back. It's a good thing. It's an awesome thing. I look forward to doing more stuff with these boys from time to time if they're game for it. And I'm telling you, if you're a collector, get on their page. I mean, they can point you in the direction of just about anything you're looking for. And the part that I love the most is from you guys is that you Richard just touched on it, is a lot of these local vendors or companies that are out there or businesses that you drive by all the time, you pay it no mind, but you guys take the time to stop and say, hey, check out this place. Let's go inside and let's take a look.
Yeah, that's a huge factor we've ran into. To our surprise, how many places we've done locally that people that live maybe a mile or two away from drive by it all the time, didn't even know it was there.
Right.
So it's very important, and we're all about supporting the independent small businesses, and like I said, it's one of those things where we get a charge out of it. So if you're a collector, we don't care what you collect. We're involved. We're not just toys or monsters. We don't care if you collect something. Feel free to join the group. Share what you collect. We see so much stuff when we're out and about that people collect, and it's very important. Like I said, it's a passion. Once you dive into collecting something seriously, it becomes a passion, and the hunt's there. That's thrill of the hunt, because that's what it is. It's a thrill to acquire that piece you're looking for, or maybe find one you didn't know existed.
Exactly right. As we wind down the interview here, fellas, I just want to say for you both to touch on a little bit, moving into 2020, which is, believe it or not, 2 months away. Don't remind me. I'm not even ready for it yet, but it's coming. But moving into 2020, which will be here before you know it, what is on tap for you boys with Thrill of the Hunt? What are the long-term goals, or what are you guys hoping to accomplish as the new year approaches?
First and foremost, we're just looking to explore new territories and broaden our horizons a little bit. Brad has been very busy with work. I've been busy with work. I have some things going on in my private life that kind of constrict the available time that we have. So I would say first and foremost, we want to expand our range and, bring to light some other places that are not in our immediate area. We're also going to be working on some marketing things to try and get our name out there a little bit more. Not really, doing an overt push, of our brand or anything like that, but just, some little things just to get, some recognition out there. And we just want to continue having fun. We have really just an incredibly special group of people with us right now. There's no inner conflict, there's no arguing, there's no politics, there's, nothing that makes this world a bad place at times. And it's just kind of like a safe place to have fun and share our passions. And we just want to continue that and try to continue getting together with people and, online and in person to keep on doing what we're doing.
Brad, you got anything you want to add to
Yeah,
that?
I want to send a shout out to Brian Pearson and Hammond City Council. We did the Svanguli haunting Hammond recently. Kind of set us back a couple weeks on what we're doing because there was a lot involved with that. And so we took a little break from getting out and doing videos. We will be out a lot more soon. And like Richard said, we can't stress enough. We want to thank everybody that's on that group page. We appreciate you. It's a big family. It all comes down to this. It's all about, like I said, the passion, the enjoyment, the pleasure you get from collecting, sharing other stories. There's a couple other pages. Came from the attic. What's John's page?
Chucker Boys Toys.
Yeah, I always have a hard time with that. You got the Motor City Mafia, two guys from Detroit that have a great page. Similar stuff, and it's great because, like Richard said, we want to expand. We want to reach out further. We're just a little drop in the bucket right now, but we really want to work on getting much bigger, and just having fun with this. That's the bottom line. So let me ask you something. What do you collect?
Me? Oh, man. Comic books is, Richard and I share that much in common. But like I told you before, movie props and stuff occasionally I get into. I've got what I call the T-Rex Hall of Fame, and what it is, it's very similar to what Richard has here with some of his autograph of pictures. I've got several celebrities hanging on my wall. I've got Kevin Sorbo's autograph. I've got Kevin Conroy, which, no offense to any of the other Batmans out there, but he's my Batman. Lord have mercy. 25 years, nobody else has touched him. And several other celebrities. And so I collect that from time to time.
Yeah.
And then the comic books, of course. My cousin just loaded me. He got me hooked again, Richard. You can believe that? He got me World's Finest, I don't know what edition it is, of Batman meeting Superman. He just brought it over to the house today. So he's always hooking me up. Oh, man. I can't take, like you boys, I can't get a break from it anyway. So one way or the other, someone's always helping me out.
The funniest thing about this whole thing, too, and I want to get this out there, too, real quick. We're just a couple guys from Northwest Indiana, a couple knuckleheads that love to collect. We have gotten people from all over the country and the world in our group page, and that's really cool. That's very important. It means a lot to us. And so, there's a lot of people in the Hobart area that don't even know we exist. Right. So this is one of those things of, we really, I think in 2020 are going to work on that. Like Richard said, we got some ideas coming. We're not going to be putting out product and saying, hey, buy this because we're going to make money. We basically want to get marketing out there, networking out there, get our name out there. When I see somebody wearing a back patch, that's awesome. We did a limited run on those. We have buttons and stuff, but we want to get more expansive at some point with that stuff. and get more involved. And of course, you know, we love being involved with the local area, but we definitely got a lot of road trips planned and on our minds. Some really cool places. You know, I can't wait till we can get that accomplished because we're just scratching the surface at this point.
And I can say it for myself, boys. If you guys want to team up with me with anything, that's what my show's all about. I've got your backs on anything. I mean, let me know. If you need an outlet for marketing and stuff, let me know. I mean, a ton of people are jumping on board asking me about that now, so just let me know. I'm at your guys' service for that. But as for you guys, get out there and help these boys out. You know, join them, talk to them, and help expand the thrill of the hunt. I would love to see in 2020 these boys saying, man, we've got a huge, massive following. We don't know what to do with all these people.
Right.
You know, it's a great problem to have, is what it amounts to.
The more, like Richard said, the more people that are there, so far the way it's been working great. The more people that are there, the more opportunities you as a collector in the group have a chance to maybe find something you can't find locally, or meet one of the collectors that's you know, hey, I've got one of those for sale. We do a flea market Friday where you can put stuff that you have that you want to sell or trade. People do it during the week sometime. We're not going to beat you up for it, but you know but you know we try to keep it on Fridays, and you know, it's a good thing because networking and getting to know other collectors, very important. I was in the music business most of my life, and I'm still involved with it, but it's so important to, you know, mention that name, shake that hand, acknowledge people. I've been in bands most of my life, so it's kind of, you know, this is a little different, and this is probably one of the funner things I've been involved with in a long time. And couldn't ask for a better partner. Richard's, his mind's always going. He's learning things. He's turning me on to things. I think collectively, it works.
And that's what it boils down to. If you find someone to team up with and it's something that you enjoy doing, it's not a job.
Right.
It's not a job.
Right.
It's just something that you love doing, and that's what it boils down to. Fellas, I want to thank you for taking time out.
Thank you.
Time out for letting me talk to you, for letting me down in your bunker.
Absolutely.
The guy up front was very gentle, by the way. So I just want to put that out there now.
I told him to put the whips down and stuff. So, yeah.
He only searched me once.
Yeah.
But anyway, I appreciate you boys, and like I
Wait
said,
till you leave.
oh well, see, I knew there was a catch
Different
somewhere.
story on the way
I
out.
knew there was a catch somewhere.
Yeah.
But guys, stay tuned. I'll have these boys back on again. Probably we'll aim for December, weather permitting. You know, weather in the region is always changing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, 60 degrees one day, negative 60 the next day. Who knows? But we'll try to aim for December to have these boys back, see where they're at, and then of course we'll touch with them again come the new year and see where we go from there. So guys, thank you so much. It was a great interview. I enjoyed myself. So be sure to check these boys out, and we will be right back after this.